Hey everybody, this is Rudy Stankowiz with the Talking Pools podcast. And I'm here by myself once again. You know, the reason for the season. It's hot as balls out there, and Miss Andrea Nanini is doing her best to keep up with all the pools, get them ready for the 4th of July. You know the deal, yada, 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 yada. Today, the day after the 4th, I hope you all had a kick-ass holiday. Got to spend some good time with family, friends, shoot off some fireworks, celebrate the nation's birthday.
Good morning, guys. Good morning. This is Pete the Pool Guy, Coachella Valley Pools, with your daily dose of tip of the day. Tip of the day! Happy Friday! Real quick tip, simple, for all you newbies out there, pool guys, newbies, just so you know, in case you don't know, now you know. Carry a nice chest with your waters, especially right now it's muggy, you're sweating a lot, you don't want to be dehydrated. But here's your tip. If you go to PP, or you go to Superior, they have ice machines there, so you don't have to go buy ice. Just go there. I mean, first come, first serve, because you better hurry up in the mornings and go load up and get some ice. But there's no charge for it. A big thank you for the people from PP and Superior that take care of us like that. But you got to get there early, get your ice. That way you don't have to pay for it and don't have to go buy ice. So, tip of the day.
Tip of the day is brought to you by Coachella Valley Pools on Instagram.
Why have less nickel when you can have more? If you're looking for longevity, efficiency, and strength, Raypak's Avia with Nytec might be for you. Nytec is Raypak's exclusive solution to superior strength and maximum efficiency when it comes to residential pool heating. With 900% more nickel compared to cupronickel in critical surfaces, Nytec creates an ideal surface to protect against scale formation and erosion without compromising on thermal efficiency. Dive into the details at raypak.com/Nytec. That's raypak.com/Nytec.
I was looking through the podcasts for the week, and I thought I'd try and keep with the theme. And I can see on this past Monday, the team down under, Peter, Shane, and Lee, an episode on responsible dosing. On Tuesday, Dan lands out of Chicago, spin touch versus Taylor drop test. And then yesterday, 4th of July episode, we've got the ruler of the reagent discussing essential water tests for pool maintenance. So I decided I was going to jump in on that bandwagon, follow the train, rally up the horses, and dive in a little deeper in dosing. So one of the best ways you can control costs is by ensuring accurate dosing of dry chemicals. It's crucial for a pool service company, given that densities vary and only measuring tool is typically a measuring cup. Here are some best practices to help you achieve that goal. Try standardizing your measures. Calibrate your measuring cups. Ensure all cups used by the team are consistent and labeled. That's right. Get yourself a food scale. Put the cup on it. Zero it out. Add an amount of a specific chemical, and then mark the level at a half a pound. If it's an 8-ounce measuring cup, usually we're going to be able to mark a half a pound, but mark it a true half pound for that product. Train your staff to understand the importance of using the correct cup for the correct chemical to get the correct dose, to get the correct measure, so they have better control of the pool. You could create a density-based conversion chart. Develop one that lists the common pool chemicals, their densities, and the corresponding volume in cups for a standard weight, a pound, or in grams for my friends down under. It should be easily accessible to everyone. Make sure you use consistent suppliers. This one I cannot stress enough. purchase chemicals from the same folks, use the same brand. If this is what you're looking to do, if you want to achieve accuracy in dosing, stick to the same brand. Otherwise, it'll drive you crazy. I'll talk about that in a minute. Digital scales, like I spoke about, technology, man, use it. It's out there. There's probably a food scale in your kitchen now from some diet that you or somebody in your family went on 4 years ago that you haven't touched in a dog's life. Grab the friggin' thing, put the cup on it, zero it out, fill it with the chemical, mark off the half-pound mark. There are some apps out there. You know what? Be careful with those. I'm just going to be honest with you. Companies that sell pool chemicals sometimes like to sell pool chemicals. Make sure that we audit these measures. Make sure we double check these things. Take a look at the SDS sheets. These are going to be key. Make sure then, if we're going to go through all this trouble, that we actually track the usage, track the doses, track what we add to every pool, and then go ahead and run a cost analysis. Make sure that you're getting the best bang for your buck. Team education. Educate your customers. Just to give you an example, so if we want to figure out how many cups of a dry chemical make up a pound, we need to know the density of the chemical. You can get this information right off the SDS sheet. This is something you only have to do once with each chemical, as long as you stick to that specific product, that specific brand. The first thing you need to do, convert pounds to grams. 1 pound is equal to 453.592 grams. That's just a standard conversion. So you have that number. 1 pound equals 453.592 grams. Next, we'll use the density of the chemical to find out how much space or volume that 453.592 grams will take up. Density is usually given in grams per cubic centimeter, which means how many grams fit into a cubic centimeter. To find the volume in cubic centimeters, we divide the weight in grams by the density. So if the density is 0.8 grams per cubic centimeter, we divide 453.592 grams by 0.8 grams per cubic centimeter. Finally, we need to convert the volume in cubic centimeters to cups. We know that 1 cup is equal to 240 cubic centimeters. So we take the volume we just calculated, divide it by 240 to get the number of cups that we'll need. So again, easy peasy. 1 pound equals 453.592 grams. Volume, cubic centimeters, 453.592 divided by our 0.8 grams per cubic centimeter gives me 567 cubic centimeters. Now I need to convert that volume to cups. So 567 cubic centimeters divided by 240 cubic centimeters, which is what a cup is, gives me 2.36 cups. So this specific chemical, it would take 2.36 cups to equal a pound. And it's going to surprise you which chemical this is. So by knowing how to convert between weight and volume using density, you can accurately measure out the chemicals needed for your pool, ensuring you're using the right amount, not wasting any product. This helps in maintaining the correct chemical balance in your pool and helps to control your costs. Nobody wants to put in more than they need to. Nobody wants to put in more than is necessary. So looking at these numbers and some products that you're familiar with, let's take a look at 2 different brands of calcium hypochlorite. I chose Leslie's Power Powder for one type, and then the other type is Arch Chemicals Refresh, which is most likely what you're purchasing from your local SCP. So doing the math, as we discussed, looking at the SDS sheet for the Power Powder, the density is listed as 1.035 grams per cubic centimeter. Again, 1 pound is 453.592 grams. I'm going to take the mass in grams divided by the density in grams per cubic centimeter. There's 240 milliliters in a cup. because 1 cubic centimeter equals 1 milliliter. Now we're going to divide the grams by the density of the product. Remember, 1 pound is 453.592 grams. So I'm going to divide that by the density of power powder, which is 1.035 grams per cubic centimeter, which gives me 438.12 cubic centimeters. I'm going to take that number now and divide it by the 240 cubic centimeters that a cup holds, and I can see that 1 pound of power powder is 1.83 cups. 1.83 cups. That's for power powder, a calcium hypochlorite product. Now, let's go on to the refresh and take a look at that so you can get a look at the difference. And this is why it's easiest when you do these measures to stay with the same product, because what I'm about to show you here, what I'm about to explain to you here, is that just because both products are calcium hypochlorite, it doesn't mean that both products have the same density. Let's compare the power powder to a product you're familiar with, Refresh, probably the calcium hypochlorite brand that you're picking up from your local distributor. Take a look at the SDS sheet. There you will see that it lists the density as 0.8 grams per cubic centimeter. We start out with our pound, convert it to grams, 453.592 grams. That will always be the case. That is a standard. That is a given. It's not going to change. The volume, again, 453.592, 1 pound, divided by the density, which is the 0.8 grams per cubic centimeter. And here I get 567 cubic centimeters. So 453.592 divided by 0.8 gives me 567 cubic centimeters. Now I'm going to take that and divide it by what a measuring cup will hold. 1 US cup, 240 cubic centimeters. So take your 567, take the 567 cubic centimeters, divide it by the 240 cubic centimeters that a cup will hold, and you'll see that in order to get 1 pound of Refresh brand calcium hypochlorite, it will take 2.36 cups. That's a pretty big difference. So we're looking at 1.83 cups of power powder to equal a pound. If we switch to Refresh brand, now in order to get a pound, I need 2.36 cups. That's a huge jump. So power powder, stronger than Refresh brand. But Refresh brand, for the pool professional, much less expensive if you're buying it through distribution. So it doesn't mean that you should jump ship. It just means that you should know as you change from one brand of Cal Hypo to the next, take a look at the density, see what's changed, do the math, or take the easy way, that food scale that nobody's using anyway, put the measuring cup on it, zero it out, load it up till you get to the 1 pound mark or the half pound mark, right? 8 ounce cup, so you'd have to load it to the half pound mark. Mark it off, write the name of the chemical on it, and boom, you're good to go. You don't need to do that again, either exercise until you change brands. But then you should absolutely expect to do it. As in our example, Leslie's Power Powder, after we ran through the math, 1.83 cups will give you 1 pound. However, the Refresh brand calcium hypochlorite, 2.36 cups to get 1 pound. It doesn't need to be hard. I just want to make sure that you're putting in the amount you want to put in, that you're putting in the right amount, that you're getting the reaction in the water equal to the dose that you believe that you're putting in. Isn't that important? Anyway, those are my tips on accurate dosing.
Understand that measurement of volume to weight based upon density is true to all dry chemicals in the industry. JYSD, because 2 cups of ARM and Hammer soda ash equal a pound, it doesn't mean that the 2 cups to a pound applies to every brand of soda ash. The same holds true with bicarb calcium chloride, cyanuric acid, boric acid, potassium monopersulfate, granule trichlor, sodium dichlor, aluminum sulfate, and more. As Rudy said, whenever a new brand of anything is purchased, you cannot assume the density is the same. The amount of a like chemical of a different brand will require more or less cups to get the correct dose. You can create a density chart for your entire team to see, or you could bust out that lonely food scale you got tucked away under the counter.
Rudy and Andrea will be right back with more Flocket Fridays after these messages.
Aquastar's new pipeline cartridge filters, available in 2 sizes, deliver top-notch hydraulic efficiency along with best-in-class filtration performance, approaching that of DE filters. Uniquely designed open pleat spacing means 100% of the media square footage is usable, and these claims are backed by NSF test results. Designed with a pro's time and comfort in mind, the patented double locking system improves safety and ease of access, making filter cleanings faster than ever before. Available now. Ask your supplier for pipeline filters today.
Blu-ray XL is the power of minerals working for you. Reduce your overall chemical costs and labor up to 50% guaranteed. Whether you have 20 accounts or 20,000, Blu-ray XL's direct pricing and free shipping to the pool trade have you covered. Improving pool professionals' profit and work-life balance is what they do. Blu-ray XL, the real mineral purifier. Visit them at BluRayXL.com.
Blu-ray all day.
Pool Magazine is the hottest new publication for the pool and spa industry, featuring up-to-the-minute news on what's happening in the pool world in a fresh new stylized format with our mobile-friendly app. Pool Magazine is the app for keeping your fingers on the pulse of the pool industry. You'll find featured news, editorials, podcasts, videos, and more on the Pool Magazine app. Download on Google Play and the App Store.
Jack's Magic Products is your industry leader in identifying, removing, and preventing stains. How? With a range of high-performance, eco-friendly products, keeping pools safe, clean, and ready to use all year round. The Jack's Magic 3-step program is a quick and effective way to remove stains and scaling. First, we identify the problem, then our top-quality products will remove the discoloration. Finally, our preventative solutions will keep your pool looking like new for much longer. Get helpful tips and check out our product catalog today at jacksmagic.com.
The other thing that you want to do is pay attention to the acceptable ranges. Pay attention to the maximum range. They're there for a reason. They really are. Somebody's ran a whole bunch of tests on these things. It's in line with FIFRA, which is the Fungus Insecticide Federation of Rodent Somethings. Also in line with NSF International. And the APSP, ANSI, which now is the PHDA ANSI. Take a look at your maximum acceptable ranges on products. Chlorine, the back of the bucket, the label says the maximum acceptable level is 4 parts per million. Guess what? That makes that the law. I know the CPO class teaches that you can have an acceptable level up to 10 parts per million. I know that your health department code says you can have a level up to 10 parts per million. I'm just warning you that that 4 part per million thing, it's coming. pH, I'm not worried about hurting people, but I do want to be in the ideal range, at least in the acceptable range. The same thing with total alkalinity, calcium hardness, total dissolved solids, but I'm looking more so at the levels of other things like copper. Maximum acceptable level for copper in drinking water is 1.3 parts per million. Maximum acceptable level in a swimming pool is 1 part per million. So I want to make sure that I stay in the ideal range. Same thing with silver. Maximum acceptable level is 0.1 part per million. So if you start using a silver algicide, you best make sure that you grab a silver test kit so you can measure that. It's not very hard to exceed 0.1 parts per million of silver. Same thing. You start using boric acid, the NSF and EPA both state 50 parts per million should be the maximum allowed in swimming pools. That's a level that's safe for people to swim. So take a look at those things too. Responsible dosing is about more than you getting the desired results. It's about more than you being profitable. It's also about you staying within levels that have been determined by these organizations to be safe. Because if anything ever happens and somebody comes and tests the water and you are out of range, well, then you're out of luck.
They can't see me like Houdini, move discreetly. I go poof. They can't see me like
Houdini, Lamborghini. It go poof. They can't see me like Houdini, move discreetly. I go poof. They can't see me like Houdini, Lamborghini. It go poof. Yellow polka dot bikini with the...
That's all I have for you this week. I hope you had a great 4th of July. I hope you're still having a 4th of July weekend. I know that's a lot to ask for, that everybody's also off on Friday, but you know what? You guys fucking deserve it. You're out there busting your ass in the heat every day. And I want you to know that we appreciate what you do. We know that what you're doing out there is hard. God bless you. All of you. There's not a one of you that isn't out there busting your ass, and we appreciate you. Thank you also for making us part of your day, listening to the Talking Pools podcast, checking out what we have to say. We appreciate you guys so much. Until next time, be good, be safe.